Wars destroy armies and infrastructure, but sometimes they also destroy thousands of years of human history. Now, the recent strikes that are being carried out in Iran have damaged some of its UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And now this raises a bigger question. When such a damage of human heritage happens, is this a mere collateral damage? Or can it also be constituted as a war crime? In this session, we will find out. Hello students, welcome to Drishti IAS. My name is Saloni here. Let's get started. So I told you that the strikes being carried out from US and Israel on Iran, they have affected 4 of its UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which include palaces and an ancient mosque and even a prehistoric site. So this is the damage that has been reported by Iran. UNESCO also has confirmed it. And now this raises the bigger question that I asked you. Is this a war crime or a mere collateral damage? We will answer this question towards the end. But before that, all these 4 sites become extremely important for our examination. Their names, their places, the timeline, and what is so special about these sites. So let's start with the first site, which is the Golestan Palace. Golestan Palace, which is in Tehran. And this was given the status of a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2013. Now, this was basically built during the Qajar dynasty in the 18th and 19th century, and the names of the kings that are associated are Fatah Ali Shah Qajar and Nasir al-Din Shah Qajar. So this was basically a royal palace or a ceremonial palace. This was a residence for all the royalty in Iran. So it's a very important place in Iran, and particularly it was famous for the type of architecture that it has. It has a blend or a hybrid of Persian European architecture, and it has these mirrored walls and intricate tiles and design on the architecture and everything. That's why also it is very, very important, and it has been it was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2013. And because of its architecture and the European influence in the architecture, sometimes it's also called the Versailles of Persia because of the European influence in the architecture. It's a hybrid of Persian European architecture. Now we look at the second site, which is the Chehel Sotoun Palace. Chehel Sotoun Palace, which is in Isfahan. And this is a part of a larger UNESCO World Heritage Site, which are the Persian Gardens. The Persian Gardens became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2011, and this Chehel Sotoun Palace is actually a part of the Persian Gardens. Now, if you recall, Isfahan is the same place which also has a nuclear enrichment facility, which again was targeted a couple of months ago by Israel in these strikes. Now, let's come back to Chehel Sotoun Palace. This means 40 columns. So Chehel Sotoun Palace basically means 40 columns. But does it have 40 columns? No. It has only 20 columns. But when you look at the architecture over here, there's a large pool. There's a large pool in front of this palace, and then there are these 20 pillars, these 20 columns. And the reflection of those 20 columns can be seen in that pool. So it gives a visual illusion of 40 columns. That is why it's called the 40-column palace or Chehel Sotoun Palace. This was built in the 17th century during the Safavid Empire, and the king that's associated with it is Shah Abbas II. And this functioned as a royal pavilion used for receptions and diplomacy. It used to welcome diplomats coming across from all over the world. Then we have the Jameh Mosque of Isfahan. Jameh Mosque of Isfahan, in fact, is one of the oldest Friday mosques in Iran, because it was originally built in the 8th century. It is that old. One of the oldest Friday mosques in Iran, and this gave rise to a new type of layout. It introduced a new type of layout, which was the 4-Ivan courtyard layout, meaning there is going to be one courtyard, the main courtyard, and 4 Ivans, arched architectures. The main courtyard, and we are going to have these 4 Ivans. Right now you cannot see all the 4 in this image, but there are going to be 4 Ivans. One of them will be pointing towards the main prayer hall. So this introduced the 4 Ivan layout in Islamic architecture, and it is one of the oldest mosques, oldest Friday mosques in Iran. This has also suffered damage. Then the 4th site, I told you prehistoric sites have also been damaged, not just modern architecture. Prehistoric sites have also been damaged. That's in the Khurramabad Valley. Here we have caves. Okay, here we have caves like Yafte and Gar Ajne, etc. And this basically gives us an evidence of human civilization, which goes back to tens and thousands of years ago. In fact, it goes back to some 60,000 years. Some of the caves here are 60,000 years old. This basically is a very prehistoric site. It tells us a lot about the human civilization in Iran, human civilization across the world. So these are some very important sites that have been damaged by these strikes. And that's why it raises a bigger question, that is it only collateral damage? Should we just let it go? Or is it actually a war crime? So for that, we'll have to look at the Hague Convention for the Protection of Cultural Property in the Event of Armed Conflict. Now, whenever such a damage happened in case of an armed conflict, in order to decide whether that will be constituted as a war crime or not, we will have to see if the strike on that site was intentional. Were US and Israel specifically targeting those UNESCO World Heritage Sites, or have these sites been damaged because of the explosion or because of the shock waves coming in from the nearby sites? That is going to decide if this constitutes a war crime or not. So right now, US and Israel time and again have been saying that this damage has been caused because of the nearby explosion and the nearby shock waves. It was not directly targeted. These UNESCO World Heritage Sites were not directly targeted. And so that no such destruction happen, UNESCO in fact also shares coordinates of these monuments, coordinates of these heritage sites with the parties involved in the armed conflict, so that they can avoid hitting those sites. But nevertheless, damage has happened. However, till now the damage has not been proved to be intentional. It is right now being called as a collateral damage because of the shock waves coming in from the nearby explosions. But still, damage has happened. The UNESCO has given these warnings that, if it is proven that this was intentional, then yes, this can constitute to be a war crime. But right now, we cannot put this into the category of a war crime. So that was all for this discussion. I hope you were able to understand all these things that we discussed over here. Now we look at a practice question for prelims. And before we do that, that we have this new course for you, which is the Studio GS Foundation live online course. Now, this is a foundation course, which means that your syllabus of both pre and mains is going to be covered in only 14 months. And a complete preparation of your prelims and mains is going to happen. And all of this you're getting at a very affordable price of only rupees 34,999. And if you wish to avail a further discount on this fee, a 10% discount on this fee, then what do you need to do? You need to use this coupon code SALONI, Saloni, all in capital letters only, and you will be able to get a 10% discount on this fee. So hurry, the admissions are already open. You have 3 mediums to choose from: Hindi, English and Hinglish. And for any more information, please call us at 87501 87501, and you can also download the Drishti Learning app. Now let's look at the practice question. The 4 Ivan courtyard layout, which later influenced mosque architecture across much of the Islamic world, is prominently associated with which of the following sites? A. Golestan Palace. B. Jameh Mosque of Isfahan. C. Chehel Sotoun Palace. D. Falak-ol-Aflaq Castle. Choose the correct option. Please attempt this question and provide your answers in the comment section. Thank you for watching.
For more informative content, Like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.